Big 13th, lucky. Let's hope it's a lucky 13th for you today. It's Thursday. Nice to have you with us on the CBSN Minnesota Morning Update. I'm Jason DeRusha. Skinny tie day. So this is about as skinny as I go. You know, I'm not a skinny man. I can't pull off the super skinny tie like the Jeff Wagners of the world. He looks good. I look like a goof. So this is as cool as I get. Hope you're feeling good today. I think you all look fantastic, by the way, all of you. Let's take a look at the weather forecast for today. Going to be perfect, right on the average, 69, maybe 70 degrees. If you've got an outdoor baseball game to watch, or maybe you'll be sitting along the sideline of a soccer field like I was last night, going to be really pleasant. Don't forget the sunscreen. This morning I felt like I had a little sunburn from staring directly in the sun for an hour and a half. Watching my son's team get destroyed. It's fine. It's good. Good. You know what? It makes you stronger. Sometimes you got to get knocked down before you can get up. There's a little inspiration. This is now an inspirational podcast is what this is. It's just going to be a bunch of nonsense for me. Let's talk about this. I find it fascinating. A St. Paul restaurant relaunching next week, and there's been so much debate during the pandemic about restaurants and the service business and how to kind of structure the job so it's not such a soul-crushing experience. The new wage structure at Augustine, Steph March in Minneapolis St. Paul magazine on their website, writes about the new approach here. So Augustine's is on Selby. It was kind of a bakery and a bar before. Now it's going to be a bistro, only open at night for dinner. 4 nights a week, 3 nights off. Lenny Russo, who perhaps you know is a chef who created Heartland. He's been an ambassador, a culinary ambassador around the world on behalf of the U.S. But here's what they're doing. Every hourly employee will make the same pay, $20 an hour, plus benefits. So if you're a server, a bartender, a dishwasher, line cook, doesn't matter. Everybody makes $20 an hour. Steph said that management, the salaried folks, are taking a lower pay as well to make sure that everyone can make a good wage. And the quote in the article is, why is the server's labor valued more than the person who's scrubbing the pots and pans? And so the key to make this work is that there's no tipping. And there's no line for tipping either. And we've seen more experiments in that, right? Restaurants charging an 18 or 21% service charge, and then the restaurants get that money, and then they say that they're raising the hourly wage of the employees. If you're a server at a high-end restaurant, it's probably a pay cut, right? Because some servers are able to make far more than $20, $25, $30 an hour. But, you know, do you get enough days off? Do you all of this? So you think, like, hey, should we tip or should we not? Should the customer be responsible for sort of determining the wage of the servers? And do you need to get rid of tips to make sure you have enough money to pay the back of house? Or should the restaurants just raise the prices and pay people better? I don't know, maybe you'd go out to eat less if a burger cost you 18 bucks instead of 14. What do you think about this? Do you like to tip? I think most people like to tip. They feel like you get better service if you do. So I don't know, tell us what you think. Restaurants are all trying to figure this out, and an interesting experiment will be going online soon in St. Paul. Let's talk about the state trial for 3 ex-Minneapolis police officers charged in George Floyd's death. That trial was scheduled for near the end of summer, late August, but WCCO has learned that trial is going to be delayed until next year. There's a hearing today to talk about the trial, and sources tell WCCO the delay is because the Justice Department, the feds, want to put all of these officers on trial first. So they're going to delay the state trial to let the federal one happen first. All 4 former officers face federal civil rights charges. If they're found guilty because George Floyd was killed, they could go to prison for life. Derek Chauvin, in his state case, his murder conviction, already facing a potentially longer prison term. The judge in his state ruled that Chauvin abused his authority, treated George Floyd with particular cruelty, committed the crime in front of children. 4 aggravating factors in all. The guideline, the state guideline for a second-degree murder conviction would be 12.5 years in prison. The max is 40. And so perhaps he'll be sentenced to more like 25, 30. We'll see. Chauvin expected to learn his sentence next month. Kids as young as 12 today can start rolling up their sleeves and getting a COVID vaccine. CDC did give the green light to using Pfizer's vaccine in those younger, kind of preteen and young teenagers. State Health Department says parents can make appointments for their kids starting today. We made an appointment for both of our kids already, so they will get their first vaccines this afternoon, and they are excited about it. We've heard of several, at least they say they will. We'll check it. I'll let you know tomorrow how it went. We've heard of lots of different incentives being offered to encourage people to get vaccinated, right? Things like free sports tickets. We reported about the place that was giving you a free beer when you got your vaccine, Lake Monster Brewing. $100 at Cafe Latte in St. Paul. All very nice. How about a chance to win $1 million? Very interesting idea from Ohio's Republican governor, who's doing this through the state lottery. Ohio is going to randomly choose 5 adults who get their shots, and each one gets $1 million. Plus, they're giving 5 teenagers full college scholarships. They'll choose these winners every week, starting at the end of the month. They're using the federal COVID money as an incentive. Boy, I bet that I'll be fascinated to see what happens. But if you were hesitant, I mean, you're going to buy a $2 lottery ticket for a chance to win the Powerball, or are you going to go get a vaccine that could make a significant difference in your health and give you a chance to win $1 million? Very creative. For the first time today, the effort to legalize marijuana in Minnesota will be brought to a vote on the House floor. This is a significant milestone, but not significantly likely to become law. This bill would legalize cannabis use for adults. It would expunge most minor marijuana convictions. The House, controlled by Democrats, and it'll be interesting to see how many Republicans vote for it, because there is bipartisan appeal to this legislation. But the leadership, the Republican-controlled Senate, has said they have no interest in bringing the issue for a vote. Gas prices are expected to climb around the nation after a critical pipeline was shut down. That pipeline is back online right now, but the after effects of this will be felt for a while. Long lines at gas stations throughout the Southeast as people kind of panic bought. Cyber attack forced Colonial Pipeline offline. They had to shut down the pipeline for 6 days. It's back again this morning. GasBuddy.com says more than 70% of gas stations in that region, the Southeast, are without fuel. And, you know, turning on the pipeline helps, but you turn the pipeline on, you still have to distribute it. It could take weeks to fully resupply. The good news for those of us here in Minnesota, western Wisconsin, the Midwest, if we have a price increase, it will likely be minimal. Our pipelines are fine, so a few cents at most. Summer hasn't started yet, but it's always football scene. This is Vikings country, right? And for those of you in Wisconsin, it's Packers country. And the other sports are fun. But football reigns supreme, and the NFL does it better than maybe anybody else, right? They reveal the schedule. Is there any other sport where there's such excitement to see the schedule? No. Part of it is there are so few games, 17, so it's easy to digest. Here they all are. Vikings open on the road against Cincinnati, September 12th. First home game, Seattle, week 3. Green Bay comes to town in November, the 21st. Who will be the quarterback? Will it be Aaron Rodgers? Will it be Blake Bortles? Who knows? And then we're at Lambeau. Kind of for Minnesotans who like to drive to Lambeau and come home, that is a night game as of now, but it's the end of the season. It could be flexed. Who knows what'll happen there? So much uncertainty surrounding Aaron Rodgers, right? And so here's who they got. According to Adam Schefter from ESPN, Blake Bortles. So the Packers now have 3 former quarterbacks who were first-round picks. Isn't that amazing? Blake Bortles, Aaron Rodgers was a first-rounder, and Jordan Love, who they just selected, all under contract, but who will be playing, we don't know. Bortles last played a regular season game in 2019 with the LA Rams. Minnesota Twins are getting ready to welcome more of us back to Target Field, and so they took all the zip ties off of the seats. They had kind of certain seats were tied in the upright position so no one could sit in them to have social distancing. Starting tomorrow night, they'll ramp up for the 10,000 fans they had to a full 40,000 person capacity. Those tickets already on sale, and certainly with the way Twins are playing, I'm sure we're going to have a full house to watch this quality. Oof. I think a lot of us just want to get to the ballpark, right? maybe we'll be watching the other teams. Hopefully the Twins will get it together. Great developments on Lake Street inside Midtown Global Market. Lots of new restaurants, and this one is really cool. A dream of the homeowners for more than a decade, Soul to Soul Smokehouse. These guys have been doing like different events, different food truck type things, and now they got a spot inside Midtown Global Market. Yeah, it's a barbecue place, right? Brisket, chicken, turkey. I love smoked turkey. You don't see that very often, so I really love to see that. Pork, beef ribs. Anthony Simmons, Charles Robinson, Juwan Marshall, partners in this. And these guys know food.
We got over 60 years of cooking experience between the three of us. There's a lot of grandmama's recipes, auntie's recipes, mama's recipes, and we want to share it with the world. Well, we do everything here with love. We put the love in, and you feel the soul.
That's why it's called Soul to Soul, right? I love it. The Neighborhood Development Center helped the new owners make their dream a reality. It's really part of the effort inside Midtown Global Market. So many small businesses, a lot of them owned by immigrants, are getting their start. And so go eat. I was there just last week and can't wait to try this barbecue place. Big change in daytime TV. Ellen DeGeneres is wrapping it up. She's ending her talk show saying it's time for her to take on a new challenge.
This show has been the greatest experience of my life, and I owe it all to you. So,
yeah, this is Ellen's monologue, very emotional. She recorded it for today's episode. You know, the Ellen Show, it's been around so long, we forget maybe how groundbreaking it has been. 3,000 shows over 18 seasons. She's doing like 180 shows a year. And she says now is the time. Her contract expired after season 19 next year. There were reports about a toxic work environment. BuzzFeed News broke that story, talking about some complaints of people working on the show. And in fact, they did an investigation, and some of the top producers of the show lost their jobs. But Ellen says that wasn't why she stepped down. You'll be able to hear more from her and her message to fans today at 4 on Channel 4. Let's talk about tipping. How do you feel about it? Do you like to do it? Joanne says the no-tip model is why I opted to find work in another field. It is a huge pay cut for servers. Yep, it helps the managers kind of equalize the pay or pay the back of house more. But for servers, this is the reality. Thanks, Joanne. Whenever I write about getting rid of tipping, servers contact me, overwhelmingly opposed. Braden points out tipping is a horribly outdated system. We should get rid of it. It's awkward for customer and demeaning for workers. Hey, Braden, thank you. I think that's right. I think it's true. I think it's demeaning. It is rife for sexual harassment or racism when you allow every random person to determine the pay. But the flip side is that the pay can be very good. So you're trying to help the worker, but you're sort of hurting the worker. Jackie says, I like to tip. Excellent service I feel deserves that pat on the back. I do think eliminating tips can remove the incentive to deliver great service. Yeah, fair enough, Jackie. Thank you. Danielle says tipping is for waiters and waitresses who do their job well. I'll probably still tip something. Bring cash. I think that's the way to do it now, because a lot of restaurants are taking that line away on their check, which I sort of think they should. If you're going to charge me 20% more in a service fee, you expect me to pay another 20%? I don't know. It's a lot. Todd says eliminate tipping. It's outdated. Plus, I'd rather not have to do math. It is a nice way to teach your kids percentages, though. I do appreciate that. Thanks, Todd. Here's Melanie. My fiance is from Ireland and doesn't understand tips here. Says it should be included. They should be able to live off their wage without worrying. Yeah. Thanks, Melanie. Appreciate it, everybody. It's tough. It's tough. This is the paradox here, right? The idea of eliminating tipping is because we're looking out for the well-being of the worker. I wonder if maybe the focus should be more on making sure people have time off, sick time, parental leave, benefits, things like that. Yeah, all of it All of it fits in. Thanks for watching, everyone. No tip required for the CBSN Morning Update. We just, our payment is your viewership, and we'll see you tomorrow.